Go to sleep, you know I gotta keep my eyes open. But I've been smoking, that's the reason why my eyes closed. I'm from a city where the sleepers never make it. Risk your life and they gon' take it. Have you stuck up in that time zone? Like I can't help but always think about that time gone. Too many people out and lost, I'm trying to find home. I'm from a city where the sleepers never make it. Risk your life and they gon' take it. Have you stuck up in that time zone? Can't go to sleep, you know I gotta keep my eyes open. But I've been smoking, that's the reason why my eyes closed. I'm from a city where them niggas leave you wide open. So if you move around, you know to keep that nine close.
What's up, guys? Welcome everybody to the LaceUp podcast. I'm your host, Joe Lawler. I got my co-host here,
Devin Donovan.
and as you see, Dev got the bling on. He got the bling on.
Yeah.
We got the bling right there. He got the bling on, and we got a couple special guests here today. We're doing something different today, so it is a special one. You know, you're gonna want to tune in. I'm gonna let Dev do the introductions today.
Yeah, absolutely. Got my man, Young Biggs.
You know that, man.
Let's go.
Appreciate y'all, man. Absolutely, man.
And his boy D. You got D here. What's up, bro?
What's up, D?
Yeah.
I like to get him, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Big Celtics, man. Got the manager today with us.
We getting the chip.
We are. I hope we get the chip again this year. It's dope, man. It's dope. So happy you're here, bro.
I think I appreciate it, man. Y'all doing phenomenal out here, man. All the interviews, or the artists, and just even the stories behind the people, man.
That's what's up, bro. I appreciate that.
You got y'all flowers, 1,000%.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I like the fact that I met you however many years ago, and looking back on it, man, you were inspiring me when I wasn't even like really looking to be inspired. You know what I mean? But just knowing like you went away, you did your thing, and now you're being a dad and pursuing the music thing and cutting hair, like. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
absolutely.
It's important.
And I was a little bigger when
you lost a lot of weight, bro.
I lost 375 pounds.
Yeah?
Shit.
God bless you, bro.
Yeah.
They always call
Right.
it still.
Yeah, we had a kid here that was shooting Ozempic. Right? Yo, he was a young kid too. I'm like, damn.
He wasn't even that fat either.
No,
it's like,
man,
what
no,
are
I
you
know.
doing?
Dude, insecurity is a real thing, bro.
Nah,
Nah,
Right?
facts.
Yeah.
Poor kid, yeah. I'm like, man.
You really-
Yeah, he thought he looked like $1 million. I'm like, bro, you're fucking withering away. Come on. Right? You need a little weight on you. Yeah, no, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, my highest weight was 608 when I was in prison.
Yeah.
I did a 5-year bid, and about 30 years I had 608, and I had 2 years left. And my man Ace, man, shout out to Ace the Body, man. That's my brother, man. He was doing a life bid, and he flipped. He had Rosemary, one of the top lawyers in
Scapiccio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a beast,
She's
huh?
an animal. If you're a rodent, she does not mess with you. Swear to God, man. But she
That's speaks
she's,
volumes right there. That's what's up.
he looked at me. He was like, "Yo, Biggs, man, how much time you got left?" I said, "Yo, I got like 2 years." But you want to tell that to somebody about life.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had 15 years in. So he's like, "Man, how much time?" I said, "Man, I got 2 years." He's like, "Nigga, you going like that? You going home like that?" He said, "Man, what's your excuse? I've been here 15 years. I work out every day. I get a visit every week from my wife. I've been married for 30 years. I'm doing life." He's like, "I get a haircut." He's like, "What's your excuse?" Yeah. And for the whole 2 years, my last 2 years, I lost 225 pounds. Came home, put the shit back on, and I had the surgery.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
Wow, that's amazing, bro. No coincidence, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. You know, like you went there, you know what I mean? Like, you ran into him, especially coming from him. You know, it's like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, because you're on top, man.
I mean,
I was crying about that part. I'm like, what, Nick? But then when you're in there, you respect the timing. You respect. It doesn't even matter if you do 60 days. Jail is jail. You gotta respect people's timing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that shit humbled me. That damn, a motherfucker that got life was like, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
In the bed.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that about the. It's irrelevant, you know. And I feel like the older I get too, and you know, when I was, you know, in my 20s, I missed my old 20s. You know, it was almost like it was a little easier as far as like, because I could lie to myself a lot easier then. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now as I get older, it's like you said, the time. It's not about the time. The time's irrelevant. It's about putting my life on pause. You know, that shit to me, the thought of it makes me cringe. It's like, you know, I guess it's a healthy fear, you know, but at the same, you know, even to tell myself where it's like, not be a victim and because like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I'm not gonna beat the system. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not. They don't care, you know what I mean? Like they see a piece of paper and that's it, and like that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So I need to accept that and not think like, you know, that it's gonna be different for, you know, like don't they know? Don't they know I come from a good family or this and that?
Yeah, they don't care about that. That's
You just gotta stay out of the way, you know.
No, it's
They
crazy.
just want to make an example out of us.
Now, how'd you guys meet?
It's
We knew each other
20
for
plus
years.
years.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been, you know, we both from Framingham. And, you know, right now we got the whole team rocking. We got a big movement across the whole New England called Us and Them. It's basically a bunch of labels, bunch of good artists, bunch of great artists with talent that's like, you know what? We're pushing all of us.
We're
So
united.
now we united. When you see all of
That
us,
shit
when you
gives
see
me
us,
chills, man.
when you see all of us, you see Us and Them. So if you guys hear that, that's all of us, all together. You know what I mean?
And you know who you are, never them. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, I say all the time,
Right.
I'm like, bro, if you're offended by something I'm saying, you probably should be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1000%.
Word.
You know?
I
It's a
feel
guilty
like
conscience kicking in.
I feel like even on, you know, at the Millie show, that was big for Boston.
Absolutely, bro.
And to see all the artists, Smoke Bozer, Lou Armstrong, fucking Bia, you know, just everybody on there, just
Who you brought up.
that's legendary. You know what I'm saying? And different hoods.
Yeah, of course. And then
Come on,
like,
anybody know that Boston, the hoods don't get along. I'm not
Yeah.
from Boston, I'm from South Framingham. I'm from Framingham.
Yep.
But Boston, just to be in a building and everybody went home safe.
yep.
You know, so I'll give you. This is like, you know, my mind, you know, works crazy, but you know, I'm sure all of us does, right? What's normal, but the other night, so when they had this is the difference between New York and Boston, right? Like, as a comparison, this is what I think. Even in the Fed, you know what I'm saying? And like, there's good dudes. This shit bags in Boston too, you know what I mean? You know, the good ones are the best, but the bad, you know what I mean? Like, you know, good is good, bad is bad. But the dudes from New York, I feel like Boston is like, we know our identity. Massachusetts, like Boston, like we know who we are at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that like the humbleness, it comes a lot easier as far as like, I was having this conversation with someone lately. I'm like, if you think about it, New York, right? They've been telling, you know, if you're born in New York, or they've been telling, you know, I don't know, as far as I can remember, like, you know, that's like the Big Apple, like, you know, New York, right? It's like, okay, but like now you got people that grow up, you know, poverty stricken, this and that, and like that's like, so now they're like setting themselves up, right? It's like they don't even know, you know, they think they like made it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like, you know, so now they have to come off with like an attitude or whatever. Or the dude said the other night, he was like something about, and maybe I heard him wrong. I thought he said like I'm from Brooklyn or whatever. When I come to Boston, I don't have to check in with no one. I'm like,
I want to bring
That's that
Little do you know.
yeah.
Little do you know, especially in the Feds.
Yeah, right.
I want to hear you guys' honest opinion about the dude Skrilla that came out.
Skrilla,
You're from
a
Detroit.
lot, yeah.
I
you know what it is? A lot of people don't
That
feel
drill
it.
stuff, I'm not for it. To me, that's not music. Respect.
Yeah, respectfully too, because it was like, I don't know, it's like, I don't want to say I'm from this generation, right? But I grew up listening to the generation where it was like, at least like if you sold drugs, it's like selling drugs
You were
was
known
like,
for it.
yeah, it was like a more like, more honorable thing than like,
Not only that, you really had to.
like
Well,
bro,
you weren't killing people, bro.
like dude, there's
No,
like
facts.
there's dudes that are like straight like, what did he say? Something about like taking a sub and it didn't hit, and I'm like, yo, bro, this
You're
is like
rounding up-
legit drug addict
That's
music,
crazy,
bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's just different.
You didn't see that video here with like all the
Zombies.
You know what it is?
Oh, so that was dude.
Yeah, that was it. You know what it is? Is that I think for me, you know, a lot of people are like, yo, I don't feel his music. It's the creativity of the artist, man.
Yeah.
If you really pay attention, how he came out, he had the crowd.
Yeah.
It's not about. Sometimes it's not about the music. It's
Yeah.
how you fucking come out, how you show.
how you interact.
Show. And
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
it's different, bro.
Because
We're
I
not-
was thinking
Right.
about
We're
it.
not. And some people are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want to hear this shit," but look how he came out.
Yeah.
Look, zombie down.
But see, and that's the thing too. Like having to have that, you know, open mind. I try to.
He had the crowd.
You know, it's funny because I was doing that. It's like I came to see Millie's, right? So I want to hear what I want to hear, right? And I couldn't, you know, it just wasn't my cup of tea, right? Okay,
Yeah.
right? And there was a young kid that was sitting next to me, right? And he's like, "Yo, you don't fuck with this, right?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he was into it, so I'm like, "All right, but I'm gonna risk." You know what I mean? Like he's here,
Let me
he's
see what it's
enjoying
about,
himself.
yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be ignorant and be like, okay, you know,
So
it's,
let me
it
see
doesn't.
why you like it.
Yeah, right. You know, I'll sit here and like, okay, I tried it. I mean, I couldn't get into it, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm glad you said that. Where, you know, listen, you get up there, it's like an MMA fighter, bro. You get in that cage. You know, I don't care. People can, you know, maybe if you pay money or whatever, you can talk a little shit or whatever. But like someone that is puts himself out there and gets vulnerable to, like, you know, whether get knocked out in the cage in front of the world or get booed off the fucking stage. You know what I'm saying?
I can put it like this. There was a reason why he was part of that. One of the biggest headline shows in Boston.
Yeah.
That shit just says it right there. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the music.
Yeah.
It could be the person behind the music. It
Yeah,
could be
right.
the voice. It
No,
could be
you're
the
right.
style. It could be the creativity. That was the first time I seen School on TV. Right? YouTube. This is what these young boys like. When I seen him live, that motherfucker had my attention. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? This motherfucker was zombie out.
I was confused, bro.
I'm going crazy.
But
bro.
it's stuff like that the
That's the
generation,
creativity,
the younger
bro.
generation go like, all right, that's cool to do. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Same
What
thing,
kind
Pop
of example
Smoke,
would
God
you
rest his
say?
soul, Pop Smoke. All that drill shit. But when he started doing this shit, what the fuck is this? They love that shit. Now you got the whole world, everybody doing the drill shit. You feel me? Lifting up your feet. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure.
It's the creativity.
So King Von he was drill, right?
He was Chicago drill.
He was wild. He was
nuts. He was crazy.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, that's a different animal right there, bro.
They say he was like a serial killer type shit.
You know what though? You think about, like, you know, no matter what it is, like it's all the same, like wasted talent. Like I always think like that to me, like even when I was a kid, you know, and I didn't know what I was feeling, but I knew like that it didn't sit right, like wasted. You know, I wouldn't see it in myself. That was the last person to see, you know. But I would see it in my friends. I would see it in other people, and I'd be like, man, why is this dude? You know what I mean?
It's you know,
Potential, you gonna throw it away.
Yeah, right.
You know what it is too? A lot of people, I can't speak for other artists, I can speak for my team. We don't want to be rap. Bro, this is a job.
Yeah.
We trying to feed our family. We ain't got time to be going out with the jewelry, that's a fucking job. That's a life.
Yeah.
Any you don't know if you're gonna make it home or not. Any little fuck up, especially in this type of environment that we're in, even podcasts, you get the wrong fucking podcast.
Put a target on it.
You get the wrong mobster that got smoked with some other mom. It's a job, bro.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what?
Yeah.
And you gotta watch what
rich.
you say too on camera. Now everything is viral. Now you gotta watch.
It's funny too, because even like a couple of like old OGs like that's, you know, that are family to me. You know what I mean? They took me under their wing, and like these guys, like they taught me how to act, how to carry myself. You know what I mean? And I'll forever be like there. I know I could call them like whenever, and I would love to have them on or whatever. But they're more like that's not
They're
their
behind
thing.
the scenes,
And there's also other people that like that, you know, want to come on. I'm like, I have to really think about it, because like I'm not gonna put them, you know,
Just
they
anybody,
come first at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Push
I'm gonna have to
middle.
answer to them.
Right.
There might be someone out there that would help us go viral, but it's not necessary.
Nah, fuck
Like
that
not
shit.
all publicity is good publicity, and that's a lot of people sell out. You know,
We said that when we first started this.
What
Like, we were
y'all
talking
got
like-
going on, this is history, bro. Y'all bringing untold stories. Y'all bringing where motherfuckers ain't. Bro, you can't sit there with a suit and tie and be like, oh yeah, let me hear your shit. No, the fuck you ain't. I can't tell you this gangster shit. I can't tell you what I'm going through with my kids or who just died. Or I'd rather say be around our story. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all doing for Massachusetts, just for New England, you need people like this. It's not about going viral.
And even B.
Nah,
Luke,
of course,
like I said,
of
B. Luke was our inspiration. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, the prison reform and just the real talk. You know, he has people on there, and the thing that attracted me was like, I'm like, damn, like these, you know, I always knew he had a voice. You know what I mean? It was just like, you know, either they don't want to, no one was either, you know, we didn't get a chance to speak, or, you know, or they weren't listening. But that wasn't the truth. You know, there was just like we needed someone to break that.
And I'm sure it's like the same thing with music, right? It's like, fuck it, man. Just take that leap of faith, right? And there's going to be haters and there's going to be this and that. But
haters come with the game. That's
chances are, if someone's hating, that you're doing something right.
It's because
You
it's
know what I
not
mean?
them. That's why they hate. It's not them. getting
Oh,
that
the
shit.
devil's real, bro. That's the shit. You even see it. And I've had conversations with even like homeboys, like kids that, you know, friends, like childhood friends. I'm like, bro, like, thank God I'm in like decent space, right? And I can and be like, wait, like, you know what I mean? Don't get weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Like that's and let them know, like, listen, I get it, like we can get, but like that's some sucker shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like because you disrespected me by feeling like a type of way, like insecure. You know what I mean? However y'all
me
feeling,
trying to make something happen.
yeah. However y'all feeling, like that's on you, bro. You know what I mean?
So,
if you can't support it,
that's a hate within themselves.
Absolutely.
For sure. Biggs, I want you to get into, your story a little bit. So south side of Framingham, is that like Beaver Park?
2nd Street, Beaver Park, in effect, the whole south side.
In the Faith Terrace, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah, the whole south side of Framingham, man. I'm big. Even though I be getting mad at my city, I be on some bipolar shit. I love my city.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
You shut the city down every time we do a video.
Yeah, every time I do a video.
You love it, but there's also probably some resentment from when you were a kid. You know, there is. You know, that's real shit.
You know, I've been, like I tell the bros, you feel me? Like right now, we got a dope ass movement. And then sometimes it take outsiders for you to buzz more than what you buzz in your own city. You know, they hate. But my community is strong, bro. I come from Framingham. You feel me? I was a motivational speaker for over 10 years. I was voted the #1 speaker in Massachusetts 3 times. No shit. I did over 700 schools, colleges, middle schools, taught the kids about drugs and alcohol. But at the same time, I was living a double life. So I would do all this good shit in the morning, and then at night I'm selling crack cocaine. You feel what I'm saying? 1,000 miles. But always giving back to the community. There's not one person that don't know Biggs in Framingham.
Yeah, you're a Robin Hood, bro.
Nah.
No, I'm saying, but I get what you're saying because that's something that I would almost feel like, all right, you know what I mean? Like give to, take from the rich, give to the poor, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was just like, shit, I'm doing something good and I'm getting money.
Yeah,
not knowing I'm telling this, but I'm being a coward.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It wasn't selfless, it was more,
Yeah, but even that, when I was hustling, I always treated people good, bro.
Absolutely,
everybody, bro, from the mayor of my city to the top people, everybody know Biggs, bro.
Yeah.
I do a lot for my community.
Yeah.
And even that, now that it's dope that I'm on a show tour with my bros, with my boy Mula Monopoly from Worcester, Massachusetts, Blaze from Worcester, Massachusetts, and we got the manager Dee. You feel me? All of us, and just a bunch of us, all of us together. It's like, it's even dope that I'm seeing the craft and what we all have. Some people would have been give up in my year. I've been doing this shit for a long time. I know all these brothers for a long time.
Takes time.
And then it takes time, and then you start buzzing with other people. You're like, oh shit, this is real. You feel me? I wish they was here. Mula, y'all would have loved Mula and Blaze because Mula got 2.5 years rapping.
Not two.
2 years rapping.
Been home for 2 years.
2 years
right
from the feds. Yeah. I've been buzzing ever since. His story is phenomenal. Another person has been in the feds. You feel me? Yeah. And you got Blaze that's also been locked up. Another phenomenal story. A recovering addict too. You know what I'm saying? So we all got.
We're all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We're all the same goal. We all got the same
but the thing is that we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
It's to be uplifted and keep it pushing.
There's no other way.
We all get along. We can shoot the shit with each other, joke with each other.
But
it's like a brother.
I always say too, it's like it was it was profound. I love that word profound because I'm amazed. It doesn't get old, bro. I'm still every day,
Really
if I try my best, it's crazy how it works because, and then when I'm, as hard as it may be, right, when I'm putting a little effort into taking care of Joe, you know what I mean? Even just fucking getting out of bed, bro, some days, right, and showing up for life, I attract good. I attract the right things. Right?
It's all about the energy you put out.
Yeah, it's a wild, it's wild how that shit works.
It's really true because if you wake up angry and mad, you really have a bad day. You're just angry, you don't want to be bothered with it. You wake up in good mood,
listen,
all right, it's gonna be a productive day.
I learned once I woke up without being in the cell, it's a good day.
Yeah.
No matter what. Even being here, it's a good day. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah, gratefulness, bro.
Once we don't hit count time, it's a good day. That's for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, but respectfully, we all been locked up, so it's just we all had our setbacks.
Yeah.
And even though we can't make up for them days we lost, we're trying to make each day count since being home.
Yeah.
Of course.
When I try to make up for lost time, I went away at 21, I came home at 30.
Yeah.
There was no growth there. I laugh when people say I grew up in prison. Stop. Stop it. You grew up. How'd you grow? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's that.
It's like you're isolated. You gotta.
No, there was no growth. I was still a kid, and then I tried to make up for lost time in all the wrong ways of ways that I I missed out on this, or I felt like entitled and stuff. And I was like, no, bro, you don't
You
get
blew
that.
that chance. You blew
No, that's it,
I'm
bro.
grateful. I
Eat
ain't
that
gonna
shit,
lie.
accept it.
I'm grateful. I don't regret shit. I ain't gonna front. That experience in jail for me in prison was, and it was my first bid. You feel me?
Yeah.
I got 3 offered. I got offered 9 and 13. I said fuck, and then my second offer was for me to be a rat. And my third offer, I offered them 15 years before I become a rat.
100%.
My mother got 5 boys, bro. I'm the oldest one. I represent the city. You know what I mean? That's just being humble. That's not even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not even like. I couldn't even.
That's real
you know what I
talk
mean?
right
I couldn't even turn. You know what I'm saying? And then when I came home,
You're looking at like, damn.
you know what I mean?
know
Doing
you
all
like
these
there, but at the
schools,
same
being
time,
all
it's
this,
like,
and then when I
you
came
gonna
home,
sign up
150 people surrounded my mother's house with love. Even the police officers
I
was
say
like,
that to you all the time.
you know what I mean? I did a welcome home party. So it's just now it's cool to have that background story, but it's about what you're gonna do with it. And now that I'm going through this experience with other brothers, you know, my bro Mula and Blaze and D and him being a role manager, and it's like, damn, all this shit that I went, it all makes sense for all of us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, they went through what they went through. It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Bro,
Y'all went through what
While
y'all
you're going through it, you don't see it, right?
You don't say it.
We're not
damn,
supposed
why
to.
me? You
Right.
thinking blaming like, why
We're
am
not
I in this
supposed
situation?
to.
Why I get-
That blind faith right there, yeah.
So I want to bring up a real dope story, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember coming into the Dream Team shop, right? Coming into Dream Team, get my
Shout out to
haircut.
Dream Team.
Shout out to Dream Team, man.
Framingham barbershop.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't realize Framingham got it in like they did until I mentioned that shit before the show before the show started.
Yeah.
Like Beaver Park and all that, they get it cracking over there for sure. But fucking yeah, I was getting my hair. You would give me a haircut. I don't know how long you've been home up until that point, but later on that same day, I'm at a AA meeting called TSDD, Tough Shit Don't Drink, and he was in there, man. And it's like, I didn't even have to ask so many questions, but like I knew right then and there, it's like there was like a humbleness about you, and it's like whether you're an alcoholic or an addict or not, it's like for him to be there, like it was like you know what I mean, like.
TSDD, man. Shout out to the whole team. I smoke weed, man, but at the end of the day, I'm a recovering fat guy.
Recovering from trauma.
I said, if it wasn't prison, I'd be dead.
Recovering from pain.
We're all recovering from something, bro.
I'm recovering from life, bro.
Yo, it's all trauma, bro. That's the
You know
one
what
thing
I'm
that they
saying?
teach us, and like that, and I need to be educated. You know what I mean? I'm not too good for that. Like that's why I love like it's like a classroom to me, where it's like, you know, because I can't, if I go in there with the ego, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll stick out like it's not the corner, bro. It's not the street corner, right?
Yeah.
So like, just like if I wasn't that on the street, like you would stick out. If I'm doing the right thing and I'm around people that are trying to do the right thing because they need to, right? Like there's no other option. Then like I can learn things, and the thing I learned is like has nothing to do with no matter what it is, you know, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Like that's no. That's what makes my thinking tells me that like that's my solution, right? That's not my problem. My problem is what goes on up in here, right? And like even just to learn those things, you know. So like that talk about humbling. Like it's like, you know, God has a funny sense of humor, you know.
Like I told you before you started the interview, man. Once you go to prison, and I'm not, condoning this shit, make it sound cool, but this is me. Once you're in prison and you're up there with the top murderers, the top gangsters, the top fucking rapists, the top fucking bro, you're in there with the devil's playground.
Yeah.
Once you're in there, bro, and you come out this world, you learn how to look at shit a little different.
100%.
You learn how to move a little different. In prison, you call me a bitch, we're going to the box.
Yeah.
In this world, you call me a bitch, I might look at you but like, I fucking terrorize you, but I know. So
Yeah, they might
you
press charges.
It's different. You got to think,
Yeah.
especially if you're a father. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even now, you can't have an excuse because you still got to represent yourself as a man.
Of course.
You know what I mean? There's levels.
That's
to
what
this.
That's a
says
tough
about-
balance to.
It's a tough balance,
Yeah.
you know.
Luke
But
says that about like I remember him saying one day he was like, if you think about it, you know what I mean. Sometimes I just need to hear it worded differently, or from someone, you know what I mean, someone that I admire, respect, you know, and you know I don't know. I always tell Dev like there's not too many like guys that like I'm impressed by, but when I am like I'll let them know, you know.
Right.
And he said like if you think about it, like in there, the one thing I did learn, like I could read a room like that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may not want to read my own self, you know what I mean? But but I can tell you who's who and what's what, and like, and I'll put my life on the line, like with that, you know, that judgment of character, you know, and it hasn't failed me. So, in that regard, and he was saying like out here, like if you think about it, like society, like you know, if we can play it either way, you know what I'm saying? We can manipulate and take advantage of, or we can, you know, just be like,
I learned
like fish out there.
I learned, they say, what's that saying they say? If you got to bring your gun there, you don't bring one.
Right.
If I got to bring my pistol there, I'm straight. I'll go have a fucking hook at home. You feel me? That's how I am. Love this.
Yo, so if it's all right with you, I'd like you to get into a little bit. I know
you're gonna ask him for a haircut.
Yeah, you might give me a
Yo,
haircut.
Can you clean me up real quick?
You're funny.
I didn't have time to get to the truck.
Shit, that's funny. Fucking what's it called? Nah, you went through a lot of loss lately. I don't know if you
Yeah. Nah, I definitely speak on that, man. February was a big hit this past February, man. We lost three family members. Wow. My grandmother was passing away, and how my grandmother passed away was a beautiful thing because she died on her deathbed praising God. You know, we was on FaceTime and she like, thank you, God, thanks.
She
My mother was,
peacefully.
and we sent my mother to DR to be in the same room with her mom. So my mother watched my grandmother pass away with my uncle. And long story short, my mother comes back from Dominican Republic on a Thursday night. Mind you, she was just with my uncle. They buried my grandmother, my uncle, my mom, and the family out there. Friday, I get a phone call saying, rush to my mother's house. I'm at Dream Team, cutting hair. Then I rush to my mother's house. My mother's in the kitchen screaming, crying. I'm like, what the fuck going on? And they told my mother, you know, who's there? She's telling him, my oldest. They're like, yo, give the phone to your oldest. So I grabbed the phone. They said, yo, get out your mother's house. I get out my mother's house, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? My aunt on the phone from DR, she started screaming. And, you know, my mother just came back less than 24 hours from Dominican Republic. She was just with her brother. She spoke to her brother that Friday morning to get a phone call that my uncle just got killed in a hit-and-run accident right there. Less than 24 hours burying my grandmother. Because in Dominican Republic, the funeral, you died, the funeral was the next day. Wow. So they just buried my grandmother. My mother came back to find out her brother got killed. That same Friday, we had to send my mother back to Dominican Republic Saturday. While she in the funeral home on Sunday, that Friday we was all at my mother's house. Me, my cousins, the whole family. My little cousin Stokes, he did 5 years in prison the way I did 5 years. And mental health is very big, man. I represent that shit to the fullest because I go through mental health. We all go. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You could be the gangsters. I don't give a fuck what you. We all go through mental health. And some people now might be stronger than others. You know, I have that mentality like, yo, I was 600 pounds. If I can fucking do it, you can. Not everybody's like that. So we're all chilling. I'm looking at my cousin. I'm like, yo, man, get the fuck in the house, man. You know, we just lost grandma and uncle. You know what I mean? But my cousin was fighting his own battles, man. Long story short, we was with my cousin that Friday after we found out our uncle got killed. That Saturday was with my cousin. That Sunday morning I called my mother. The Dominican Republic is over there having the funeral for my uncle. 10 minutes as soon as I hanged up, I get a phone call that my cousin just threw himself off the bridge, committed suicide at the Child Rivers Bridge. So it's 3 deaths in 1 minute. That's when I realized like, this mental health shit for men is serious. It's all fun and games, but you can come home and you still might be fucking lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? So, you know, for any brothers that's out there, any brothers or sisters that's out there, and I say this through this podcast, because this podcast is one of the top podcasts in fucking New England, period.
Let's go.
One of the toughest ones in period.
Thank you, bro.
You gotta be a G about this shit. Nah, respectfully. And I want to share this shit with the mental health, man. If you're going through mental health, whether you're a gangster or not, anybody, reach out, man. Reach out, because that shit's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easy to like put up like this front, like smiling, laughing, Celtics, fucking haircuts, fucking music, all this shit, right? Going to the Millie's concert, whatever. You don't know what that person's really going through. Like we could all have fake smiles sometimes and act like everything's all good, especially as a man. Like you always gotta, I always felt like I had to put on this front that I'm all right and I'm always gonna be all right no matter what. And sometimes it's not the case.
It's not the case.
That was a lie we told ourselves. You know what I mean?
And then it's like when you're at the funeral and I see my nephew looking at his father, I'm looking at my cousin like, damn, what the fuck? That's when you really realize like, you can't. I ain't going to God touch me. You know what I'm saying? Till then, we're gonna get it shape. We're gonna represent the city. We got a good team behind us. When I was going through that shit, man, my bros, Moolah, Dee, Blaze, the whole headliners, the whole L's Up, the whole movement showed me love and support, and that's what it's all about. Bro.
That's what's gangster. That's what I say it all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Love
I
and
joke
loyalty.
around. What do I say to them?
That's
I'll be
gangster.
at a meeting. I'll be like, bro, I'm so gangster. I'll make sobriety cool, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
you, fucking
Yeah.
all the people that are like, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, what do I say to that?
I don't get turned up over like, oh yeah,
Yeah, no. I actually.
I get turned up over like, yo, I got twin daughters.
Yeah.
Y'all, I get turned up with shit like this.
Yeah.
What you just said, I've experienced. I've had experience with suicide, and the effect it has on people is fucking
Crazy.
I've learned a lot too. You know, like maybe I needed to where. You know, when I was younger, like my friend, I'd say like that's a cowardly move, this and that, right? And like, it sounds good, right? I needed to tell myself that, right? Because in a lot of the things, when I think about it, it's no one ever asked my opinion, right? I just like let it, I just put it out there. And when I think about it, it was a lot of the time, it was, I needed to hear it for myself, and now. And what I'm saying there, I jumped off a balcony at 17 years old, bro. You know what I mean? At a New Year's Eve party, And I met my friend, they brought me home, my parents. Like, I think about shit like that, and I was out of my mind, but still, because I was out of my mind, right? I didn't have enough even, I can still feel pain and stuff like that. But if I have a better shot, right? I can fight back. I can defend myself. But how I do it today, like what I learned is like open your mouth, kid. You know what I mean? Advocate for yourself. A closed mouth don't get fed. And like, and to know it's like that's scary shit to me. You know what I mean? And like anyone that's sitting there, like, let someone like, oh, you think that's corny, right? Like that's the corniest shit I've ever heard. If like you think that's corny for people to talk about this stuff because it's real and it's like, to me that's inspiring and motivating.
Because you never know who's going through what. Like y'all said earlier, it's like you don't know how much pain somebody's having behind the smiles.
Yo, and you know what it is too is that they think we was born to be tough, like we ain't born with emotions. And I think prison for that shit. Prison showed me how to be open-minded with the mental health shit. To speak, man, I don't know. If I'm bugging, I'm gonna let you know, yo, I'm bugging. I'm ready to crash the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Like, me and my brother, we went in the feds together. I lost him in the feds. Like, not even 60 days in, he died in the feds. In White in 2019. We were there. He had it was basically medical neglect. They were giving him. He had a heart condition. They weren't giving us proper meds. So like 4 days before that, my sister's husband ended up passing away. He was a diabetic. My brother I went in there with was a diabetic. So August 21st and August 25th, 4 days apart. Both of my brothers ended up dying. And one was in there. We went in together, we didn't come out together. So like, when I went back to the unit, they call you to go check in. They're like, oh, they have my sister's husband's paper on the thing. And it was like, oh, your brother died. Your brother-in-law passed away, whatever. I was just like, damn. That one didn't really hit me that well. We were close, but we wasn't that close. But the one I went in there with, that hit me more than anything because we was scared of it. And when they had his picture there, I'm waiting for him to come down to see what's going on because like there was a death in the family. There was like my son's mother called. There was like, yeah, your son's mother called. She said one of your brothers ended up passing away. I'm not even thinking it's him. So when I called her, they pulled this paper back, and she wouldn't even talk. She was just crying. She was hysterical, and she was just like, "Rob's dead." I just dropped the phone. I didn't even hold back, even in front of the CEOs and shit. Like, the tears came out. And I went back to the unit, like, all the inmates was looking at me. And this is, mind you, the second time this week I'm going to the lieutenant's office. So they think if it's a phone or whatever, it's looking bad, because that's the second time that week. And then when they came back, and then the CEO, it's just like he came up to me, he was like, Bradford, I apologize for the loss. And then like all the inmates, they came up one by one. They gave me a couple minutes so, and I broke down. Like one of my bunkers that was in there, he just like came up to me, he just like put his arms on me. He was like, yo, bro, when you get the time, he was like, damn, this is not a good week for you. And I broke down. Like even when I went back to the unit, there's some tears coming down. I didn't even hide it from nobody. And like that shit, like my little sister was devastated. My nephew, my nephew is autistic, so it's just like. He's like, I don't get to do nothing fun no more, Uncle D. He said, ever since my dad died, so I try to take him every weekend. And it's just like, it's hard because it's not like I'm out there hustling no more, getting the money I used to. We used to go to Six Flags, all that stuff.
Right, everyone,
Shit.
So it's just like, it's tough. And when you in the feds, you know how they are.
right.
You got to pay like $6,500 to go to a funeral. Then my oldest brother, he died from corona. Two of my nephews got killed while I was in there. And then my niece, a year later, the same day that my brother that was in there died, passed away the same day. So like I was taking losses left and right. And then like I looked at like my mom lost my father and my little sister's father. She didn't drink, she wasn't an alcoholic, she just stayed working. She was busy, she always stayed productive. So I was working in the kitchen, I was doing doubles every day to stay on my head. So I was doing that. I was going to the GED program to get my GED in there, doing programs and shit, stay on my head. So I felt like that was the trick to a lot of situations when you're going through a dark time like that, is to stay productive and busy.
Absolutely, man.
That's the only way you can stay out your head.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that you said that. To me, like even just meeting you, whatever. Like what I mean about like, I know what you're feeling. Like you're an empath and stuff. And for you to be able to like break down like that, like I love that shit because that shit gets me excited because it's like, like, and it says everything. Like your character. Even then, maybe you didn't see it in you or whatever, but that's how I took it. Or that's how I, that's wild. You know what I mean? A lot of guys wouldn't be able to do that shit. Or they'd be angry. They were projecting on someone else.
No, they kept checking on me too, and then like the next day later, they one of the inmates, he lost his father, and then the pastor for the church that was at the facility, he came up and he said, "I'm gonna say a prayer for you." I said, "Right now," I was like, "This inmate needs it through the fact that he just lost his father." He was like, "With everything you're dealing with right now," he was like, "Your heart's in the right place." He said, "With everything you're dealing with," he was like, "That right there is a blessing. You don't even realize it."
I'll tell you this: I know for a fact, like that your family, like your loved ones that you've lost, like I know that you're honoring them right now by doing what you're doing, like, and that's the truth, like. And when I look at it like that, it's like, I say it's like at this stage of the game, bro, it's kind of irrelevant, like what Joel thinks of himself, right? Now, to be okay and like be to think like positive things, right? Like yeah, that's where it's at, right? But I'll get by like thinking negative things, you know what I mean? Like that's just not, it may not be sustainable for a while, but yeah.
Like I said, we all had the setbacks, so it's like when we go through like situations like that, it's like, all right, we're really on the clock and we gotta make each second count. What we love and do what we love, because you never know when our time's up, so we gotta make it count. That's how I look at it.
I got like another 100 years, man, before I see the Lord. I got another 100 years before I see the Lord, man. It's all about changing lives, man. This is what I'm here for. Before God takes me, man, I'm here to change my kids' life and other people's lives that's matter. I'm big on it. I'm big on it.
Look, that's what we all doing here right now.
I'm big on it. I think we all do.
How old are your kids, bitch?
I got an 18-year-old. I got a 12-year-old daughter. And I got a little YB. Y'all be seeing him.
Yeah.
Little YB.
I got a little YB, man.
Your daughter, that's your hot right there. I know that.
Yeah, he's my twin.
That's a shout.
He was May 21st. He'll be 5 years old. Same day as Biggie Small. Everybody be like, "Oh man, that's a legend."
That's wild.
He's on the same birthday as Biggie
Yeah, that
Small.
is fine. What's that, March 10th, right? Or no,
May 21st.
May 21st.
Yeah.
He died March 10th.
Yeah. March 9th.
That's all I'm here for. It's to show my gift. It's not even about. Of course, we all want to get paid for our gifts, man, but it's deeper than that. And that's why I can't wait till till I
It's
see what's about to
priceless,
happen. I can't wait till I see the history about to happen with me and the team, man. You know, my man Mula got singles out with the hoodies, Charlie Clips, like, and you got Blazers, release his new single, and I'm about to release like 2 new singles, so it's just, we working, but it's more like, not just music, it's everything, bro. We got cool, you know, L's Up and the team.
Yeah, how did the L's Up start? How did the L's Up start?
So, L's Up is my label, you know, again, like, we all got headliners, Grimy Season, 5-Star Fresh, we got the whole team, but on my part, L's Up, I created L's Up about 15 years ago. I wanted to create something that could, like, make people represent. I wasn't into the whole game thing. Shout out to all the game members and all that, you feel me? But, respectfully, but that wasn't me, you feel me? So, I wanted to create something that represents love. I wanted to create something that represents loyalty, something that represents life. And that's why I came up with L's Up. If you see in the back, it says love, loyalty, and life. Because without love, there's no loyalty. Without loyalty, there's no life. And to me, life is God and my kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Life is God and my kids, my family. Life is, like, you know what I mean? That's L's Up. Even the mayor in my city be saying L's Up when they see me. Feel me? But it's if you represent love, you L's Up.
Yo, that's a good feeling, like you said about. You talk about from the mayor to. That says everything, right?
Humble.
I could never figure out, right? Like, that's what I mean, like, when I stood in front of that judge and I was getting sentenced and I knew, like, that, like, you know, they go by the guidelines, right? Yeah. I still, to the last second before, like, they hit that hammer or whatever, and said, take him, I still, like, was holding on hope, like, you know, I'm not that bad. Like, they know, you know what I mean? My family's in the back and shit like that. And, yeah. What was I going with that?
I don't know.
No, you gotta help me with this one.
Love, loyalty, life.
Yeah, but
When you thought the L, is that what the mayor?
No, the mayor. So the one thing I felt like I always felt like, you know, I got along with people, right? I get along with people. I love people, right? And it wasn't until I started taking care of myself, or, you know, based on, like, pain's a great motivator for me. You know what I mean? Like, once the pain was great enough, that's when I was like, all right, well, what am I gonna do here? You know what I mean? Right. even to get out of the house, exercise. And then so now I couldn't be a victim no more, right? Even though I didn't know I was being a victim. That's why I love the saying, like, egomaniac with the inferiority complex, right? Yeah. It's like that's you know, you can't fight that battle. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I started taking care of myself, now, like, yeah, I get along with people like me and stuff, but now they could vouch for me. Now I was reliable, and now they could, you know what I mean? So it had nothing to do with my character, you know what I mean? It was about what I thought of myself. It wasn't a moral issue, like they say, you know, and all those people were, you know, they did feel that way, you know, and now they can, you know, they're not taking a risk, like, you know, they don't, even with the movie and shit like that, when, like, they were like, they don't know if you're not going to show up on set because you just fucking got pinched or whatever the case may be. So now people can take chances with you when they know that, you know.
How did you feel when you was a part of the town, man? How did you feel about that?
Oh, it was a great experience, bro. It was surreal.
Yeah, I seen your interview.
It was surreal. Yeah.
No, I wanted to ask you that personally. Like, how did you feel?
You know what? And it's funny. I always bring this up, and you know, you talk about Framingham saying, like, you know, it's I'll always rep Charlestown, right? That's where I grew up, right? That's my childhood. Like, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was crazy, but it was like, you know, at the same time, like, it was like, even a situation like that, like I mean, like, the salt of the earth, like, I feel like everyone should feel that way. Like, the good where you're from, like, are the best, right? Yeah. And, like, and when people aren't right, or people aren't taking care of themselves, or people just have whatever in them, you know, I like to give the benefit of the doubt most of the time, but I do think that some people are just pure fucking, you know, just no good, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's, you know, but whatever, they have to live with that, you know, and so that's something where, even like in town, where it's like, to have an experience like that and not be able to share it, right? Because, like, you're like, all right, either someone's pumping you for information, like what are you getting at, or it's like, that's not genuine, bro. You don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So now it's like you're on the, you know, on the defensive, or you're sitting, you know what I mean? Right. Because I feel it. People sometimes maybe they don't even know they're doing it, you know, but I know it, you know, and then to hear other people, it's like, yeah, why would I want to share that story, you know? It's like, But yeah, I mean, I love seeing when good things happen to good people. You know.
Well, dude, it's crazy, right? Shout out to Mort Beasy, man. I met him like for the first time actually in person at the Millie show, and he had a little interview where it's like, yo, sometimes it's the people from your own hood that don't show you as much love as all these other people, right? And it's like, here you are genuinely asking my boy how the town was, and it's like some of those same people from the neighborhood are like make a joke like, I was in the movie, but it's like, what's the motive behind you joking about? Like, what's so funny about that? Or like the podcast, right? It's like, what's so funny about it is like, yo, honestly, bro, for you to say like it's a big poppin' podcast, like I appreciate that.
Nah, it is, like, bro. Listen, you know why? Because you're doing what you love. Yeah, you're doing what you love, and you let the voice be heard. And you're not letting just regular artists in it. You're letting motherfuckers that got stories. Absolutely. Monsters, artists, gangsters, people that really went through that want to share this. And on top of that, I want my kids to see this shit. Yeah. Like, damn, oh shit, Pops really went through that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my whole thing, man.
I feel like too with the kids, like I go through it, you know, where our families especially, and maybe rightfully so, you know, like as much as they love us, like, you know, they could be a little skeptical, you know what I mean? Especially if there's you know what I mean? You know, they're like, okay, you know, what's so it might take them a little longer, you know, to believe the hype, you know. But that's one thing that with my kids that I, you know, maybe sometimes, you know, like I want them to know that speaking their truth, you know what I mean? You can't fuck it up, right? And like never hesitate, like always like say what you're feeling, you know what I mean? I want them to and never be embarrassed or think like, I mean, even the older generations, my mother's like, she's ride or die, she's the best, but like that paranoia of like, you know, even in the house, whatever, when you were a kid, it's like, oh, you know, thinking like, who's outside listening? What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Don't be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or like just like projecting, like thinking about, you know, and I get it too, where you know they're not totally wrong. Where it's like I'll tell you know I taught my son, you know I teach my son this, like, listen, people are gonna talk regardless. Yeah. But if you give them something to talk about, right? Now you know nothing's off the table. So if you're gonna give them something to talk about, at least like make it something that, you know what I mean. Nothing that's gonna, you know. But
my son was going through some stuff at school. So I brought him to New York with us over the weekend to go to our studio with Charlie Clips and the Hoodies. We had a video shoot out there. And we went out there with a couple of people, another artist I managed, two of them, Brandon Grimes, he's from out here in Boston. And then, well known, he's out in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. He brought out LBL last week. I had my son at the video shoot with us. So I was like, I got him in the pictures with us and in the video. And I was like, so now them kids that make fun of you, like, oh, my dad knows now. I was involved with this because of my dad. Just so
I say that to Devin. I'm like, bro, like, you know, if someone gave you, you know, yeah, kids can be mean. I get it, you know, but like, it's like give them the armor, right? Like, don't be like, you know, if I'm doing right, if I'm doing something good, right? Who's anyone to say like it's like, if you love me and you see that I'm happy, right? Like that's what, you know, you should be able to tell. Like, all right, Joe's in good space, or he's not. You know what I mean? And I always say, like, all right, listen, if people are gonna run it, you know, kids are mean, so at least give them, you know, arm them with something, you know, like let them defend themselves, you know, teach them even to be witty, right? Like, you know, if my daughter was anything like me, like I tell, like, you know what you tell them, like, oh, my dad always on a podcast. Oh, you heard him say something crazy, like wild or whatever. Oh, here, you know, I'll put him on the phone with your father or something, right? So now put it right back on them, right? And like, you know, no one should have. That's one thing that I you know, I always say, like, it's like, I know in my heart that I'd never go out of my way to make someone uncomfortable. Yeah. So when I see that shit, it's like, you know, I'm all about, like, you know, doing the opposite, you know.
Yeah. So you guys are in New York a lot, right?
We just went this past weekend, but we're about to hit LA June 5th to the 10th. We're about to hit the BET Awards.
No shit.
Hands Down.
Hands Down, yeah. Scotty McClory.
Shout out my guy, Hands Down. We're going to shoot a video with him out there in LA.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. He's another one that's shown some love, and he's done time. I don't know him personally, but a lot of people do.
That's another branch of the movement.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. He's nasty at tattooing.
You guys gotta come out to one of the shows.
We love that.
Yeah, what you guys got coming up, like, locally?
Right now, like, we just don't jump into anything, because, like, respectfully, we're doing, like, features, and we bring out crowds, so, like like we tell the promoters and stuff.
It's not being cheap, man. You promoters, man, for real, man. Y'all see what we doing.
Respectfully, we really putting a lot of money behind this. We're not just like local artists. We move around. We shot videos in Puerto Rico, in Atlanta, in Arizona, and this is just being home in 2 years.
Yeah.
On federal probation. Me and Mula, we're both on federal probation, so we gotta get permission every time to leave the state.
Yeah.
You know how that is. So like we gotta get the A-OK for this, but they see what we're doing. They was like, oh, we seen y'all podcast. Like my PO hit me up. He's like, oh, we're like, what?
Yeah, right.
It's crazy because you never know they're really watching. So
Yeah, last time I was in court, I had a stadium come up after and say like, yeah, well, I saw your podcast. And he's like, keep up the good work. I'm like,
But at first
like,
we would think like, yo, damn, that's weird, but it's like, oh shit.
yeah.
But then you never know who's watching it. That goes to show
They're gonna
how
pay
it's
attention
standing.
regardless of one. Listen, I'm a big firm believer in that. The cops, the hip hop police, they're always gonna pay attention when it comes to this industry. As long as you know what you're doing and you know where your heart's at, man, pay the fuck attention.
And you're doing
That's
basically something constructive and positive, and you're like, all right, we ain't got to worry about these guys. They turn themselves around.
Of course.
That's what it was. The dude said he had a brother that was struggling. That and I'm like, damn. He came up after. I'm like,
no shit. And that's what I love too, like about our show is like, we started this not really sure like where we're going with it, but it's like we can have on whoever the fuck we want. We could have someone that plays sports. We could have someone that raps. We could have someone that just did drugs or didn't do drugs. It doesn't fucking matter, bro.
Yeah.
You know
you're
what I
lacing up. That's it, baby.
Yeah, lace up for life. Throw the L up, baby.
I was trying to get it in the other
Life,
night.
loyalty, love, and lace
I was
up.
trying to yell it to Millie's the other night, bro, but I couldn't. There was no pause there. I was gonna yell it from the balcony.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Millie's, lace the fuck up.
You heard it, Millie's.
Yeah.
Fuck up. Shout
Come
out
on,
to
Millie. Shout out to Millie's.
No, it was when he said, when he said, the neighborhoods, whatever, and then he said Lowell, and then I think he got stuck or whatever, and then he was like, I was gonna start saying Situate or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Nah, even the people that are hating on Millie's right now, it's sad because like he's really putting on for the city. He comes back, he shows love, and all that. He even said he's trying to sign 10 artists en masse.
Shout out to all the artists of Mass. Shout out to
New England.
all New England, man. All the podcasts, all the listen, man. Push that shit, grind. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
Unity.
You gotta
Yeah, strength in numbers, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Support each other, put each other on.
I don't understand people. Support is free.
Absolutely.
Share is free. Like is free.
Not only that, we all trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You come together,
You know,
work.
we
Everybody
build
has
each other up.
Everybody got their time.
It only takes one person to give the flowers, man. So why would it not come on here on the Lace podcast and not give my brothers their flowers? I know what the fuck they doing. I see if it was a boring podcast, I would not be here. I was actually waiting for this shit. I was waiting for this shit.
Like
What's up, bro?
He said,
And
he said that too. He was like,
I
got rescheduled.
Right. And then the team would have been here, but they just came from New York, so I know they, I'm like, we're gonna hold it down.
Nah, but we can set up a day for y'all to have.
Shout out to Mula Monopoly.
And we're definitely gonna pop up to a show or a shoot or something soon,
Nah,
man.
we looking
We got
at
a lot.
right
We
now.
got a lot of happening, man. We got so much projects, so much music, and at the end of the day, it's just like.
Matter of fact, we got some video shoots coming out here in Boston next week with our boy Dee Slums. He's coming out from Florida.
Okay.
He's originally from Boston.
Oh shit.
And, we got a video shoot with him. We got one with Brandon Grimes. I got to double check. I think he said this Sunday on the 18th at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we're shooting another one July 4th.
Yeah.
At a park. I think he said Franklin Park or something.
Oh yeah, Franklin Park.
So we got a couple videos lined up. We're about to finish the one with Chris Rivers, me and Mula. If they don't know who that is, that's Big Pun Son.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
We really working with.
I like him.
artists.
Yeah, he's good.
Pip Jones, we dropped. Mula just dropped a single today with Pip Jones, just because that's what it's called. Pip Jones is Dave East's right hand man. He's on tour with him right now.
I know the hoodies about to come out here and do a show, right?
Hoodies,
we might be able to get them to come
we can
through,
get the
man.
hoodies to pop through too. Like,
Yeah,
I got the direct line. I got
We'll get all your
Yeah, we're gonna
info,
start
bro.
putting out some merch and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got some stickers to give you guys and shit. We're working on, you know what I mean? Like you said, bro, it's hard when you start something from nothing, bro. It's like at first we were like at first, like, we didn't know what we were doing. Now it's like, all right, bro, fuck it. I'm willing to put money into this. I'm willing to do whatever I gotta
I
do.
still really don't know
I
what
got
I'm doing.
you.
I
I
just
got
wanted
you.
to-
I got you.
Y'all believe in it,
Son.
and
Yeah,
things don't
right,
go
right.
like you like.
Yeah.
All right, now let me elevate to the next level.
Yeah,
I got this part out
facts.
the way. Now
Facts.
let's take
And
it.
it's
Well,
like, if you're passionate about
Yeah.
something and you're consistent,
That's it, bro,
go get
passion,
that shit.
That shit's easy. I sit here, to me, it's like, I talk like this if we were in the barber shop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's nice to, there's nothing forced, you know?
But not only that, now this is leaving a history and a legacy behind for your kids.
Yeah.
Like, all right, look who the guest my dad had on.
Yeah.
Or I've seen them, they rap with these guys. Or
Yeah.
he was in this. I seen him over there doing sports, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like you said, don't discriminate. People could turn their lives around. It's
This
just
is
about
all-
them believing in themselves.
Right, man. Listen, man. It took me a long time to believe in myself. It's just now that I'm putting myself first. You know, I'm about to be 38, bro. I got a mind of a 50.
I still gotta get on his ass sometimes.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's the first time in my whole life I'm putting myself first, man. It feels fucking good.
And it's no
Sometimes it's
disrespect to
sad.
kids. We gotta
Yeah,
put ourselves
nah.
first to be able to
Right.
take care of the kids.
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, because you're so used to putting everybody else. You're so
Yeah.
used to putting your kids. You're so used to putting Nah, man. You have to put God in yourself first, man.
Yeah.
If you ain't got higher power, well, how the fuck you gonna make it in life, man?
Not only that, how you gonna be able to
In
take
here,
care of them?
in here is dangerous. I fight with this
course.
shit. I don't try to battle with the mind. The mind plays tricks sometimes. I'd rather fight with the heart.
Yeah,
You
that
feel
was the
me?
best. That was probably the best thing. Like,
You know what I mean?
such a game changer where it was. I always thought, and I truly, I say all the time, it's irrelevant whether my intentions were good or not, right? I know, I believed in my heart that my intentions were pure,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And I died trying to, like, you know, believe that and, like, you know, be a good friend, like a good son, right? A good dad, and all these things, right? Loyal, like. But my thinking was so screwed up, like, you know, yeah, well, you know, we catch a body, whatever, right? I'm accessory, like I'm doing life with you, right? Like I thought that was like that. That's the craziness where it was like, no, that's not how this works. You know what I mean? Like you don't get. That's not a flex. You don't get one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
As you throwing your life
it's
away
like
for
humble
somebody else.
yourself and, like, you know, just
Yeah.
and do what you gotta do. You know, and taking care of yourself, like you said. It may be foreign to us, but it's necessary. You know, and I'm open. I'm willing to learn. You know what I mean? But I need you guys to be able to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen, man.
Yeah. Nah, bro, and it was so dope, like, being at the show on Saturday and, like, introducing you guys, be like, yo, he's coming on Monday, and, like,
Hell yeah.
you know what I mean?
I already knew right away. I'm like, yeah, like the man himself.
Yeah,
Both of
yeah.
y'all,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I already knew.
Yeah.
Yo, I get crazy in crowds though.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
I
I
already,
He said it's not my atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already knew, man. I already knew. I've been watching y'all reels. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
You can't just go on the podcast and not know what the fuck going on.
Yeah.
That's the problem with these days. Everybody's so quick to hop on a podcast. Oh, because it's a podcast. Nah, study that podcast.
Yeah.
What the fuck? If I'm gonna put my face on it, I want to know. There's a reason why I'm putting my face on it. There's
Yeah,
a
right.
reason why I'm collaborating with these brothers and this podcast. There's a reason, because they're doing something powerful that I believe in.
Yep.
That I should show my face on it, and not only hear my story. I want to know what the fuck is good with them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how I came.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to know what's up with you. That's why I should like. All right, it's cool, the town, but how'd you felt about it? How'd you get? And then when you explain, I'm like, all right, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Of course,
Because
bro, yeah.
you can see anybody in the movie. For example, and a lot of people don't know, I was locked up. If you guys remember, back in the days, they did a movie called In Too Deep with Cool J.
Of course.
And Mike
I was
right?
in there with God. I was in School Kid with God.
Right. So, all right. So the dude, the dude with the blonde hair that played the middleman,
Yeah,
the one that became the snitch.
Yeah.
I was up with him in Concord. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
You never know who you run into.
you never know who you run into.
And I look at it like this is what I learned from being in the feds. It's just like the streets. It's a network. It's all about who you connect with and who you meet and make things happen with. And
Yes.
it doesn't always have to be illegal.
No, that's one thing that I am, you know, with when I say, like, the clientele's different,
Yeah.
you know, and I say, you know, it literally is, but, like, even that, like, where I kind of learned, like, you know, and Biggs was saying it about being around guys, like, you know, I was a kid, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a stick-up kid, like, I was a young
No,
kid,
I didn't know no
and,
better at
like,
the
you know,
time, yeah.
that, like, and when I watched too many movies, or whatever, you know what I mean? It was like,
Well, that's the thing, too. I was
and
recently
these guys
talking
were,
to someone there, like, and it's something that I think me and Joe do well, and I think you guys do well with, too. It's like, you don't want to just promote yourself anywhere and everywhere, and like go. You're not just gonna perform at any show. You're not just gonna go on any podcast and tell, because it's like we were saying, like you want to know what someone. Yeah, like so many people
Let it
are
manifest,
like.
bro.
Some people are like thirsty, where it's like overkill. Like they're doing it too
like,
much.
all right, we're gonna pass on this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like you gotta know your work and your value once it really gonna make sense for it and for both parties.
Yeah.
I just want to keep seeing what I saw Saturday. That's New England come together, Boston come together.
And we was in New York when the Celtics beat the Knicks.
Yeah. Say it again, B. Say it again.
Yeah.
And even though it's a
Celtics
mini
beat the
show,
Knicks.
it takes a village.
It takes a village
to make it happen.
Yeah.
So that village that's behind Millie's, because he's the voice, man. He got that shit on lock.
Hate it or love it, right?
Listen,
love it, man. He's
Nobody
doing
likes
his
a
thing,
hater.
he's putting on, man.
And
But he's really talking
white
his
boy
music,
for
though.
real.
People can relate.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And to see that, that's what I'm saying, man.
Well, people gotta
I wanna
understand.
keep
Millie's
seeing
been
more.
in this for years, man. Like I remember listening to him on MySpace back in the day. What's it, White Boy in the Hood Like Me or something?
Yeah, white boy like me. Yeah.
And
But no, and then like we were just talking about too, like he had Al Bial, OT the Real, Benny the Butcher, Jadakiss, all these people showing him love, showing us love
And the
too.
people that
Real
can't even,
recognize
yeah,
it,
that's
bro.
fire.
Yeah, and like you know what I mean. And then there's like, and then
I
there's
just hate on that.
yeah, and then there, but of course there's gonna be
a
right
second too.
where I'm not even gonna like put the dude out there, but it's like yo, he brought out all these dudes saying he's a rat, right? He had the dude's son up there on fucking stage, bro.
Not
like
like that. Like, come on, man. Like,
Bro, people are quick. These guys will tell you the same thing, right? Paperwork's the one thing. Show me the paperwork. Tell me the person. Is there someone
black
that
and
he's
white.
put in prison, right? It's that simple.
Nowadays,
People are
it's
quick
so
to do
easy
that
to
shit.
throw a jacket on
But
somebody.
Yeah,
It's
bro, I
ridiculous.
don't
that's the
even-
case, and like I was telling y'all before we
That
said
shit's
this,
fucking lame.
if that was the case, why is Homeboy still showing love to Millies?
yeah,
The one that he's supposed to be right on. Come
You
on,
know
man,
what's
get out of here
crazy?
with that goofy
Like I
shit.
said before, and that's something. And you got, I know that you guys relate. Where I'm like, if you're offended by something that's being said, you probably should be. And you know what I mean? Right? So figure that
That's
one
a
out,
real
right?
right there.
Right? Figure that one out.
Like,
You know what I mean? He's
and people just
good.
start rumors because they hate to see other people.
Yeah.
He's trying to throw
You
dirt
know,
on a man's
listen,
name.
man,
Just put
it
it on
comes
with
with
no
the-
proof.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
It comes with this.
Yeah.
You got something bad. Say something. I wake up in the morning every day and look in the mirror. And I'm grateful for the man.
That's it, bro. That's
I'm
it.
grateful to know that I 10 toes down, whether I cry, whether I got on my knees and I'm like, God, don't give me 50. Hold on.
Yeah.
But still,
When
man.
my brother died in the
10
face,
toes
they
down,
try to
man.
sit there and be like, oh, you want to put on your brother because he died? I said, get the fuck out my face.
Yeah.
That's how dirty the feds are.
Of course, bro.
They're dirty, bro. Like, they thought I was going to be vulnerable because I lost two brothers in the same week and my house caught on fire at the beginning of August of that month. So it's like I really lost everything. Everything I hustled for, my clothes, everything gone. So I really had to start from scratch when I came home. And it came at me like when I was at a vulnerable time.
Of course, bro.
You want to just put it on your brother so you can get home faster? Your family needs you. So get the fuck on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, listen.
Like that's sleazy. Like,
It's all about, like you talked about it now, and you said, you know, with the, you know, we talk about mental health and suicide, and I'm sorry for your loss. And the one thing that I say, I've said it before, it's like, you know, if I'm away, right, and you know, even in sobriety, whatever, you know what I mean, you can still catch a case, you can still, you know what I mean, and it's now getting less than the 10 that I got, it's gonna get more.
Yeah.
And God forbid I'm in that situation, and in the real talk, like I don't think I can do the rest of my life. There's only one option, bro, right?
Only one option.
And that's writing a letter to my family, right? And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I can't do this, right? Why the fuck would I ever want to fucking put them through that? You know what I'm saying? Right? And leave myself when that's the only option. Maybe to some people it's not, but like, you know, that's not saying that's not to make you, you know, impress you. I'm telling you my true feeling, like you said, you know.
Yeah.
But that shit is real talk too, where on the mental health side, where like, you know, just fucking show me.
Yeah, and it's not. Go on,
That's
go
what
on.
you were saying. When I had talked to you that day, you had just gone through all that loss, right? And we even said, it's like, fuck, man, like I gotta show up to the barbershop, or I gotta show up to work and fucking act like everything's all good and just keep pushing. It's like, it's hard some days, man, to still show up and still do shit.
Like that,
Be responsible and shit sucks sometimes, ain't gonna lie, but it's worth it though.
It's worth it, and then not only that, I got dudes that's not in my city pushing me like, nah, get the fuck. Well, he's from the city, you feel me? But the team, So to have that pussy, yo, bro, we get it, we hear it, we feel you.
Yeah.
Trust me, we fucking hear
Come to
bro.
the studio, come out,
Get
get
in the
out.
studio.
Yeah.
You the voice, right?
Yeah.
Get in the studio.
The same night we had a show when he lost his grandmother.
Oh yeah, the same night my grandmother died, we was at a
We
show.
opened up for Master Killer.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's
We
the
had to
same
keep
thing.
them
You
out
in
of
prison,
his head.
people gonna die. Show must go
We said,
on.
yo, do this for your grandma.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
even on stage, shout out to my bro Mula, because he was like, yo, my bro just lost his grandmother tonight, and yet he's still here with y'all.
Yep.
And like, they turned up for us. Like,
And that's where,
you know what I'm saying?
that's why I say the one thing with the lace up, like one of the theme we have is like we don't play that victim shit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's like we're all human beings, and like
We all go through shit.
You know, believe me, by default, if I can do that, and then it's like
They try to mix
internal battle that fucking.
right. They try to mix our emotions with feeling bad. Like, nah.
Yeah,
this
no.
is real.
Yeah, the
You gonna
victim
feel
shit
this
doesn't work, bro.
You
That's
gonna
why I
feel
try
it.
not to have pity on people. It's like, to me, it's like, who the fuck I'm not. No. You don't need pity, bro. You need like, you know what I mean? You need a hug. You need fucking. You know what I mean?
They too gangster to hug.
Yeah.
Nah,
You
he
said
said
it
you get
perfect.
daft and just hold him like, yo, bro, it's gonna be alright.
A team, right? A team. It takes
It's a
a
brotherhood,
team,
man. A
man.
real brotherhood. None of that fugazi shit. None of that snake shit. It's just like it's all genuine and it's love.
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
That's why it's like me and Joe. We don't even like we understand each other just like I'm sure you and your team does. You know what I mean? It's like.
Every balance is
yeah,
I'm like Billy
like-
Madison, you know, an old soul. So.
Yo, man.
Shit, man.
I forget he's 26, bro. But that's why I love it. I tell him all the time, like, Dev, honestly, the fact that right, but the fact that you, because I've seen him get vulnerable for years now. Like to me, I'm like, I'll always let him know, right? That shit there, it's like let him know the truth, right? You know, because
You need that. Tough
yeah,
love.
it doesn't matter. You like, I'm gonna, you know, because when you're feeling bad or thinking negative thoughts, you surround yourself with the right people, right? Well, I'll remind you real quick. You know what I mean?
We boost each other up, like even Saturday.
That's what it's about.
Saturday before the concert, you know what I mean? Whatever, it doesn't matter, but like we boost each other up, bro. You know what I mean? Like we owe it to ourselves to fucking do what we love and have fun and be around good people.
Bro, you see how I saw y'all?
Yeah.
I thought I saw celebrities in this motherfucker, man. I'm like, yo, look, I Laced Up Podcast Monday, right?
Yeah.
I was the fan. I'm like, yo,
That's
don't
dope,
forget we in the
dude.
building, man.
It's fucking dope.
But
man.
like again, man, you know, I know me and my team, we appreciate even being here, man. We appreciate this. We, you know,
Where can other people find you on social media and shit?
find me on your.
You got Young Bigs on
Nah,
any
you can
platform.
find me on, you know, Young Bigs Music on IG, Snapchat, Young Bigs everywhere, man. YB to the IG. Don't let your girl come find me.
The voice. The
Yo,
voice.
Dev, you gotta have him sign the.
Yeah.
Hell
we
Black,
do,
bro.
man. Shout out to Mula Monopoly, Blaze. Shout out to the whole headliners. The
Yo.
whole,
Well known. Shout out Brandon Brown.
Five Star
Shout out
Fresh.
everybody that's rocking
big
with
yells
us.
up, man. Let's
Shout
sign
out to
this, man. I'm
Shelby.
ready.
Yep.
Let's up.
Go
And
look up
he got my
Monopoly
chain
on
on.
all platforms.
He got the chain on,
Blaze,
man.
5 Star Fresh.
Big L's up. You know what I mean?
Throw the bells up.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Alright,
Hey, yo,
my next-
Millies, keep doing your thing too.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the artists in New England, man.
That shit's fire, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Shout out to my brother Snipe, created this, man. My partner, my brother Snipe, man. We got all kinds of.
Hey, yo, Snipe, I'm waiting for mine.
Devin,
Smaller version of.
Dev, use that one, bro.
Where I'm signing.
That green one right there, y'all can both sign it if you want. Anywhere and everywhere. We have every guest do that. Every
That's fine.
guest.
Show him.
Yeah, yo,
You're
matter
gonna have
of
to
fact,
get a bigger one, bro.
where's the phone at? Where's my head? Record this part, bro.
I got you.
This is legend. I feel like I'm signing. It's like $1 million
Celtics
worth of
sneaker.
game.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yo.
You already know what it is, man. You know, got the big signing autograph. Laced Up Podcast, man. One of the hottest podcasts in New England, period, man. Stay tuned. Make sure y'all tap in. Follow these brothers. Come hear the story. Come watch the story. Come learn the story. It's your boy YB to the IG. Laced Up, bitch. Let's get it, man.
Let's go. That was fire. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Hell's up, baby.
Hell's up.
Let's
You know
go.
Put mine right on the sneaker.
Hell yeah, D.
Put mine right on the sneaker.
Yup.
Man,
No, yo, listen, I want to tell you, I don't know, son, tell me in the heart, you have a strong energy, man. You have a strong energy.
appreciate that, bro.
I could tell you went through some shit.
Yeah.
And to have him
Yeah.
around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep
That
pushing.
means a lot, bro.
Because
For real.
you need old school cats to hear you.
Fuck niggas. Loyalty's a must and I don't trust niggas. Couple shooters in the whip, you gotta flush a nigga. Riding in a stoley, got the blicky on me. I keep a fin like a dolphin for the mission only. Top dog of my city, plus my jewelry on me. L's up, we the best, name a nigga want it. Told you pussy niggas, this is my shit. I moonwalk to the money, Mike Jack, bitch. Mike Jack your bitch, bust down the wrist. Told you niggas, L's up, can't fuck with this.